Hello, everyone. If you are catching me replay, welcome. Just a quick announcement. I will not be here doing live videos next week, so the next Tuesday that's coming up, because I'm going to be on vacation. Woohoo! Finally! It's been like 2 years since I've been on vacation. So if you missed tonight, again, no live next week, but there will be a live the following week. But yeah, guys, please subscribe if you are new here. I'd love to have you. One thing I do want to say is that because I'm on vacation, there are going to be some videos that you can already see that are scheduled that are going to be coming up. So this Friday's video is going to be very different because you're going to meet my husband for the first time. So you guys can already probably see that. Hello, Lori. Lori, you reminded me to set my timer. So this timer is for our members, which Lori's little name shows up as a member, and so that's why I'm like, if you're a member, I set a timer just randomly, and it's going to go off tonight, and whoever is a member that comments closest to it when it goes off gets the reading. So that's over here, counting down. What was I saying? So this week's video, you're meeting my husband, and I tried to make it relevant to my channel and ask him a bunch of questions about like it's like to live with the psychic, be with the psychic, kind of how he was introduced to it all. Is it okay with him? Like, what are his beliefs? So I'm very interested to see what you guys think of that video, especially because I want to do another one with the rest of my family. I can't decide. And so I want to see what you guys think and if you enjoyed it. But I'd love to kind of like take my camera around this holiday season and basically film my extended family and get their opinions on it. Even the people that I probably know do not approve. Kind of feeling ballsy. I've always wanted to do this video. Actually, it's been in like the back of my mind for like the last 2 years. But that being said, I just wanted to also say my husband is starting his own YouTube channel. If you just happen to like D&D, tabletop gaming, role-playing games, definitely check it out. I did put it in the description down below, and once the video is published, I will go ahead and put it in the comments. But I'm just going to type it right in here. You know, I don't know if it'll let me. It won't let me at him, but Creative Crits is his channel. They went live for the first time today and played a game. So again, I know that's like totally not what I do, but if it just happens to be that you are into that, he would love your support. He would love those initial views. If you guys have been with me for a while, you know how starting a YouTube channel can just take forever, and you know, getting those initial subscribers and those initial views is just so tough. So obviously don't go out of your way to do it if you're not interested. But if you are, he would definitely appreciate that. And I will share that again, and he's going to talk about it a little bit on our video on Friday. But yeah, guys, other than that, no live video for next week because I am going to be in California. I'm going to be sitting on the beach that night, so sorry, not sorry. But I will be back the following week. So let's get into the message for tonight. I decided to really use a variety of decks that I don't normally use on my live nights, and I'm just like feeling them tonight. And so I asked our guys, what do we need to know? And I'm not doing the pick a card this week because I wanted to get into the individual readings a little bit quicker tonight. It came up. What came up? But yeah, so we are pulling from the Goddess deck, and we pulled, I do not know, Ceridwen Potential. And I'm going to actually read from the book because this is a newer deck, and this is actually the cover goddess. And even though these are like goddesses, there's like a message or a theme to each of these cards, and I have them linked down below if you really like them. So even if you don't connect to the goddess, is what I'm saying, like there's still a message here that might resonate. So and I pulled a bunch of other cards, and I also have my Astro Dice tonight. So this is a Celtic goddess, Ceridwen, and she's here to remind you of the power that resides in your heart and the chalice of your mind. Everything you need is coming together right now, as if your life's reflection were shining brightly in a golden liquid in Ceridwen's magical, transformative cauldron. Imagine greatness and there will be greatness. Envision peace and there will be peace. Choose love, choose gratitude, and choose faith in the divine magic that flows through you. These are the only ingredients needed for the goddess Ceridwen to work her transforming magic on your behalf. Regardless of the limitations imposed by your world, your true destiny is coalescing on your behalf. You can be anything you imagine. Remember this, dream and trust that everything you need exists to make that dream a reality. This is the promise of goddess Ceridwen. And I love this message because I really think what our guys are getting at this week is just like getting in the flow of abundance. And when you believe that your needs and wants are going to be met, they are met. And I feel like that's kind of like the big hurdle for you all for this month. Because again, I pulled, or I shouldn't say again, but for those of you who were in my member only lives, was that last week? Yeah. We pulled this same goddess, the goddess Rhea, and she's all about flow. And again, I pulled it in reverse. And this is sort of about, going against the flow. We want to go with the flow. We want to trust that whatever's coming up, the universe is going to take us in the right direction. And I will say that this month's meditation for our members only membership is going to definitely be helpful with like these messages. I feel like I'm getting like the same messages for everybody over the last couple of weeks. I feel like we're like trying to run against the storm. We're going against the flow. And it's like we're trying to control and make everything happen a certain way. And because we're so attached to the how, we're not letting how it's supposed to happen. In this month, September, like numerology wise, and I'm not huge on, like, I don't know very much about numerology, but it's the number 5. And I think it's a 5 month and a 5 year. And it's like the peak energy for this year, which is very interesting. And I feel like September can go one of 2 ways for you. It can be just super amazing, transformative if you go with the flow, if you open your eyes to the potential, or it could just go really awfully and everything will fall apart if you're trying to force things to happen on your terms. I always feel like I'm so bad at like describing this, but I feel like this has been my life the last couple of months. And it's more about trusting that the universe is going to have a plan and it will manifest without you having to just like grind so hard. Like I'm hearing like that a lot of us are just hustling a lot and almost to an extent of like, we need to chill. We need to take a break. Hey, Michael. Hey, silly rabbit. Oh, yes. And Brittany's right. Mercury is going retrograde at the end of the month. I think tomorrow officially starts the pre-shadow, which basically means that like there's an effect on the Mercury going retrograde, both like before and after, like its peak technically. Thank God September's almost over. Honestly, though, like I'm personally feeling like September is going to be amazing. I feel like I'm not claiming this energy and I'm like, this is not me. I'm going to go flow. I'm going to pay attention to any signs that we get from the universe on, you know what, take a step back, chill, like take a break. And so how can we do this? I feel like there's actually like 2 things going on here, but the biggest thing is... Oh, okay. Sorry. I've got too many cards in front of me and I forgot what I was doing. So balancing spirituality and practicality. Also, did you guys do any new moon rituals last night? I was so busy. I didn't even have time and I was so bummed because I was like, this is a new moon in Virgo. And I'm like, Virgo rising. I felt like I had to do it, but I didn't. But yeah, so to me, this is like it's okay to live in your spiritual world, but not too much. Like, we shouldn't get so caught up that we're not doing things, and vice versa. Like, we shouldn't be going around, worried about our schedule, our to-do list, so much to the extent that we forget to, like, I'm hearing, like, take a break is the biggest thing, like rest. For some of us, it's actually just having fun. Like, when my guides are showing me the group energy that I'm reading right now, I feel like we all just have our heads in the sand. Like, we're so focused on, like, whatever it is that we're focused on, that we're not able to pull our head out of the sand and, like, look at the reality around us. Did we pass the Pisces moon already? I'm not sure. I am learning. I actually got my Moonology book in today, who is the creator of these cards, and everyone recommends her. Her name's Yasmin B. Bowling, something like that. But she made these cards, and I'm going to do her book. I'm like, right now, you guys, I'm on a tangent, but I have like a stack of books right now, all metaphysical, spiritual. I've started them all, so I've only gotten through like that much of each of them, but I'm just going on such a binge right now of learning new information. But that's the key for how we can kind of go with the flow. We just need to balance both sides of our life. Okay, that's why I was having trouble with this one. So the gambler. My guys are saying that this is also a balance. Some of you are leaning too much to one side of this. These cards have the light attribute and the shadow attribute, which is why I love these. So some of us are following so like the light attribute, willingness to follow your intuition, even when others doubt you. So that's definitely like balancing that spiritual side. Whereas I read these backwards before, and now they make so much more sense. Now the opposite side, relying on luck rather than hard work. So that's that aspect of the more practical side that we need. So we need to balance, like, literally, I feel like this is so like literal right now. We need to balance, putting in some hard work and not completely just leaving it up to chance or luck. But then we also need to follow our intuition and do things that just feel out of the norm. Or maybe somebody's like, that doesn't seem right. Like, why would you do that? But going and following that intuition anyways. Because I think that's that flow part of it. Like, if we're not paying attention to our intuition, we're not going to avoid those obstacles that are coming in our way that our guides are like trying to tell us about. I feel like this is for a select few of you. I also pulled the Rebel card in reverse, which is bringing up the shadow side for me. And this is rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. I feel like this is such a specific message, but I feel like for some of you guys this month, there's going to be like some people clashes, which actually makes a lot of sense with the Mercury retrograde coming up. But I feel, and I even can feel this a little bit myself, like today, I was just feeling like agitated at people. And I was like, I need to cool down and not like take it out on other people. But I feel like if we get into this mode of being like, I'm hearing justifying our anger towards others by using the excuse, well, I'm different, I'm being rebellious, that's sometimes a mask for, allowing yourself to treat others poorly. And I feel like what's going to happen is not that like people are going to get back at you or something like that, but you're just going to feel crappy. You're going to feel out of alignment because you're doing things for the wrong reasons. You're ignoring your own feelings and like shadow self. This is also coming through very clearly. Anybody that is feeling very called to doing shadow work right now, look at your relationships with other people and how you react to them. What emotions are you hiding? Like when people make you angry or upset or sad or make you feel little, like any of that, any not positive feeling, like what is it that you do with those emotions is what I'm hearing. I shouldn't say hearing because that was very like claircognizant, but it's almost like what are you doing with those emotions? And are you, I feel like we're trying to be rebellious and be like, ooh, I'm going to say screw you, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. But in actuality, what it feels like is a need to examine our emotions and say something to the effect of, what is it in this person that is most like me, that's triggering me? I know there's a better way of saying that, but I'm sure you guys have heard of that. It's like whatever really makes you mad about other people, there's something in that within yourself that you are trying to avoid. And if you follow me on Instagram, I try to share lots of like psychology, mental health tips as well to sort of like add a little bit to these readings, because I feel like, yes, these readings can say, hey, you should do this, but if you legitimately don't know how and you don't have the education or just the background knowledge of like how to go about these things, it can be a lot tougher. So if you've been with me for a while and you're feeling like, I don't know what she's talking about, maybe follow me on Instagram because I like to share things every now and then. Especially, I feel like the last couple of days I've been sharing some things specifically like around shadow work and other people. Now, let me really quick read my Astro dice. So that was the Gambler card. So I pulled Sagittarius in Uranus in the 7th house. Now, the 7th house is literally marriage, other partnerships, awareness of others. Like, it's all about other people. And then Uranus. Oh, Uranus is all about changing. I'm looking at all my notes here. This is like my pictures of the planets, my pictures of the 7 or 12 zodiacs, and the picture of the 12 houses. And let's see. And then the 7th house, Sagittarius in Uranus. So it's very much, it's wisdom. I've got some weird energy coming in tonight. I'm just trying to fight my way through it. Sorry. It's about having the wisdom and the knowledge that, hey, I might need to change how I'm thinking about other people. That's kind of like the message here, is that there's something that I can do to change to make these partnerships, these, if it's your literal partner, like a marriage, it could be friendships. I need to do some inner changing, and I know because I have the inner wisdom to do this, and I'm going to call on that inner wisdom. That's the Sagittarius sign, and we're going to call on that energy to try to help deal with other people a little bit better. And sometimes when we do readings, you might get like, hey, people are going to be in your face, it has nothing to do with you, like just steer clear. But this feels very much to me like very much so being aware of like what other people do to trigger you, and stopping, examining your emotions and not ignoring them, and saying, okay, what is it that is going on here that I can pay attention to and do better with myself? And then it's like, these issues with other people won't be so hard. I feel like if we just suppress this all month, it's just going to kind of backfire in our face. We have to bring love into the situation, which might be very difficult for some of us. But start by bringing love into yourself, forgiving yourself for the things that you don't necessarily do the best, especially when it comes to like other people. I felt it was very interesting how that group reading was like, go with the flow, trust the universe, but then also like, here's these people things over here that we need to deal with. Oh, that's true, Lori. Maybe I can still do a ritual tonight. Oh, yay, Brittany. See, Brittany's on top of it. You got 2 decks. Wild Unknown Tarot. Oh, Michael, is that the like circular one? Am I crazy? Moonology. I'm so glad you did, Michael. And if anyone else is getting tarot decks and they're like, I'm not sure what to do with this, I do have a video on my channel about how to read them intuitively while you're working on memorizing them. Oracle cards are obviously easier. Hi, Cheyenne. Yeah, and I have the crappy Moonology version that's from AliExpress because I thought on AliExpress the tarot cards, I was like, oh, I'm just getting them from the person who's making them. And, you know, I'm skipping the middleman is what I assumed would happen. But these are clearly like photocopied and printed on like really crappy paper. They don't, it's funny how it affects the energy. Like, I don't like to use them, and I avoid using them because of it. And they're actually a lot smaller than what they should be, because I'm pretty sure like this is the size that they're supposed to be, and that's like the true size. AliExpress, don't buy tarot off of it. I learned my lesson. Lori, have you been a road rager? I'm like so that way sometimes too. I've been that way, but online. Like very just like I'm so done with people online, and I have to catch myself from being a jerk online. Awesome. Okay, guys, that was the group reading for everyone tonight. Jumping into individual readings. I will let you guys know the donation price will go up in October. So just I want to prepare everyone, give you guys plenty of time. I'm trying to make it equal, like price wise, to like my 30-minute and my hour-long sessions. You know, normally I give out maybe like a 5-minute reading here, and I need those to like be the equivalent of that, if that makes sense. So like, minimum donation price will go up for getting readings. But again, if you are member only live member, I didn't think of the best tier names. But if you are a member only live member, those nights sometimes, actually, I don't think we've had to do any donations in them because they've been so small. But once those do get bigger, those membership rooms, if they even do, those will always be like discounted as well. Just another perk for being in there. But it seems like we don't have a ton of people yet tonight. So you might be able to get a good amount of free readings in, but just wanted to give you the heads up. I totally feel you, Lori. I'm thinking of something that there's a circular deck. It must have wild in the name that I can't remember. But I've totally heard of that one, Michael. That one's a popular one. Cool beans. All right. So let's see. I need to think of something. I was like, I'm normally like inundated with like donations like before I even get to the individual readings. All right, guys. I am thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. I'm trying to read my notes and I do not even understand them. What? Mutt messages? I don't even know. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of. Michael, you got it. Red. Bam. Michael, let me know if you have a question. I also have my timer. It's still going for our members. If you are any membership level, I basically, on my live nights, we do a timer, and whoever comments the closest to it when it goes off gets a free reading as well. I feel like for those of you who are members now, you get a lot of like free readings from me. Even at the highest level, the member only videos, that group gets one person gets randomly drawn a month for that tier, and they get a 15-minute. Or you actually won last month. Okay, what do my guys want me to know about learning tarot? Ooh, that's such a good question. Ooh, I knew I pulled this for a reason. I brought my Build Your Psychic Skills. I'm just going to pull one of these and I'll pull another card. So these are not tarot cards. They're just exercise cards. And I am actually thinking about reaching out to my mentor, who I talk about like all the time in all of my videos. And I'm thinking about reaching out to her to do a video where I interview her and just ask her about how she made the program, how she made these cards, this workbook, because I feel like you guys would love meeting her and love just getting to know her energy. Okay, so Michael, I'm pulling one of these purely because they're psychic exercises. Interesting. And I pulled the dreaming card. So Fridays are dream days. And like every Friday you'll have like a dream exercise. So, and it's literally, okay. This is all about interpreting your dreams. Ooh, Michael. So I think that makes total sense. Using tarot to interpret your dreams. I feel like this is like two things. I feel like one, just engaging with dreaming activity is going to help you just become more intuitive and then maybe use the tarot even better. But I'm also feeling like that's an easy place where you can practice pulling those cards, being like, hey, what was my dream about last night? Like, even if you don't remember it, you can say something like, hey, I have this little snippet of a memory. What did it mean? And then pull a card. And I feel like there's something about that will just connect the dots a little bit better for you. And I'm feeling like it just gives you, like, I'm hearing like outside practice. Like, I feel like the way you're using it now is like, oh, what do I need to know about my day? Or, what do I need to know about this? And I feel like there's not a whole lot of investment in your questions maybe right now. But there's something about this because you're like, oh, well, I legitimately want to know what that dream was about. And I feel like there's going to be more of an emotional connection because you're going to have those emotional connections in your dreams and you might not know what they mean, but then when you pull the card, then you might know. Let's see. And I feel like, again, it'll just like, I'm feeling like it'll strengthen your connection with using the tool. I'm going to ask, teenagers are distracting. Mostly daily stuff, yeah. Yeah, I think, and that's the nice thing too, is with the dreams, it's like you might not know what the heck they mean anyway. They're showing me to also use it to connect to your guides specifically, like asking like about your guide's personality or what they look like, or just like getting to know one specific one. Like they're showing me one specific guide and they're like, hey, I want him to learn more about me. And I feel like you can ask all these varying questions to learn. Like there's something about like learning the questions to ask that I think will broaden your ability to use the cards. So I pulled the Exorcist card, and I'm feeling like this is specifically talking about your more shamanic deck, which is kind of interesting. And I feel like this is saying freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. So maybe you can use it in that way of like, how can I stop doing this that's bad for me? And maybe if you just even read other people just for practice, like maybe they don't even, they're not receiving the actual reading, but you can say, okay, my friend that drinks a lot, what do they need to do to get better? And I feel like you'll pull the cards and you'll be like, oh, okay, I knew that personally already, but having the card confirmation will help me understand how my guides are communicating through the cards. Also using it though for yourself. This is a facing your own demons kind of card. Like that's what an exorcist is. And so if you have, I feel like using it for shadow work specifically for yourself might actually, I feel like seeing you in the moments, like connecting with the cards and getting like really like deep messages, and you're just like, holy crap, how did that even happen? Like, how could I even go that far with a tarot card? It's definitely the questions part of it, which is funny because that's like my next video that's coming out next week. Oh yeah. And I mean, so Lori said that's a good idea, getting to know your guides through tarot and oracle. Excuse me. And you can definitely, I feel like I'm starting to like have an affinity a little bit more with tarot, even though I haven't quite learned it. But I feel like it's a matter of like asking the questions differently. Like, what are you all about? What are you here for me? Like, what do you look like? And then you might like pull a card and maybe there's an image there, or just getting really creative with the types of answers. And that goes for anybody that wants to learn that. Thanks, Angel. Liking and subscribing is awesome. I appreciate that. Basically how I do my live nights, I'm so interested why there's not more people. Not that I care. Maybe it's because I can't handle it tonight. But we will do live. What is wrong with me tonight, you guys? I need to pull a card. I feel like my brain and my mouth are not connected. Or my intuitive mind and my mouth are not connected. But basically, we do guessing games, so we're going to do another one really quick. And if you guess correctly, then you'll get the reading. And otherwise, you can send a donation and get to the top. All right. So let's do... I am thinking of a fruit. If you can guess the fruit that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. And just remember too that I have my Google review link in the description down below. So if you ever get a reading from me and you haven't given me a review, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. I dropped some cards. If you can think of the fruit that I'm thinking of. I'm going to ask the goddess deck why I'm so like, why my words aren't here. Ooh, this is Hecate. The in-between. I'm going to have to look this up. Nobody's gotten it yet? No, you can guess more than once, Angel. Normally, if Yurika's in here, Yurika's like a crazy fast typer, and she'll just go as fast as she can. I mean, it works a lot of the times for her. Mango, Kenzie, you got it. Kenzie, let me know what question you have. And also tonight, if anyone donates more than $5, I will do the astrology dice. This makes so much sense. So I just pulled a card for myself of like, why am I feeling like so disconnected? Like, my intuition is here, and then what's coming out of my mouth, they're like not syncing. And I literally pulled the in-between. She reminds you that neither place is your home. You're in the spaces in between what will be, what you have been, and who you are becoming. I love this deck. I do not use it enough. This makes a lot of sense, though, with like through personally. I'm being very like cleansing house right now, getting rid of relationships, like getting rid of things so that I can invite in the new. And I'm being a lot more authentic in how I put myself out there lately. Anyway, not like anybody cares. I'm in a pretty serious relationship and I want to know where it's going. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm going to pull my archetype cards. And this is probably the best deck for relationships, honestly. Excuse me. I hope I don't scare you away, Kenzie. Nothing bad here, but this just feels to me like a lot of like dependency on this relationship. So I did like just past, present, future really quick. And the past is like, I feel like this is you, an inability to defend yourself against negative forces. And so I feel like this was you like before the relationship. Maybe the divine child, the shadow aspect of it, which is really like the parts that are not so good about it, is that we rely on others to protect us, right? A child that does that relies on others for that protection. And so where we're at now is we're kind of in the femme fatale, but not in the best way. Femme fatale is like princess in the where are my words? Princess in the, what is that tower? Like she's waiting on somebody to save her. Like I feel like that's kind of where you are right now. Like even though you're in this relationship, like I feel like you might have gotten into it because you felt dependent, you felt like you needed somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just making sure that we move forward and like don't keep having that energy. So right now it's about highlighting your own energy and kind of moving out of that dependency that I'm talking about, like knowing that you can be alone, have your life, do things outside of this relationship and still be your own person. Like that's kind of like where your guides are drawing most attention to right now, is just highlighting your independence and not relying on other people. And it's funny because I pulled, the future cards, and I have two that popped out. Prince, which is literally like saying this exact same thing, relying on your prince to come in and save you. But I don't feel like that's going to happen. I feel like right now you're being called to kind of flip this on its head. And I feel like this is a good sign that he can be your prince, but also not a prince that you're dependent on. So like the light, because I didn't pull this in reverse, I'm being drawn to the light attribute. And the light attribute says romantic charm and potential for power. So I'm kind of hearing like power couple, you have that romance, you have the prince that will come and like save you and rescue you, not even rescue you as much as just be there for you, but you're not dependent on it. And this is kind of the core message. We're getting out of being a beggar. We're getting out of the dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. So it's about really putting in the effort to find your own self-esteem, find your own empowerment, find your own independence. It's like knowing that at any time, if you wanted to leave, you could leave. So whether that's money or, just having your own interests outside of the relationship or friends, it's coming at it from like, where are we being dependent and where can we get better at this? I hope that makes sense, Kinsey. I have extreme separation anxiety, so I really rely on him a lot. It's actually something I'm working on personally. Well, that's awesome. I think this is a good sign because I'm pulling it out on the light attributes. So this is like you overcoming it. It's you're empowering yourself. You're no longer becoming the beggar. You're working on your self-esteem. Honestly, and I feel like this is actually a couple of you guys tonight, I'm just feeling like the shadow work is coming up huge. And basically what shadow work means is working on the parts of ourselves that we like to ignore. Like that's all it is. It's like psychologically the stuff that we hide and we don't want to feel those emotions. Oh, and Chloe Taylor is another psychic here on YouTube. And I loved how she put it recently. She basically said that a lot of us spend our lives avoiding emotions and avoiding emotions that honestly take no time to go through. I think she said like what they researched was like to fully feel an emotion, sit in it, and kind of let it go. It's like 90 seconds. Like that's 90 seconds of your life to really feel it. Oh, that scared me. Oh, that was my timer. There's no members in here. We'll see who comments next. But what was I saying? Like she was literally saying like it takes 90 seconds to feel an emotion. And sometimes like feeling that or hearing that can just make you feel like, oh, it's not as hard as I think it is. But what I was going to say is that I'm currently reading a bajillion books, but the one that I feel like might be super helpful for shadow work, which is really just, again, psychologically saying, addressing the parts of ourselves that need to be healed or need to be addressed that we're avoiding. Yay, Lori, you got it. Let me know what your question is. So that was my timer, and whoever is a member that comments closest to that timer gets to read. That was Lori jumping in and grabbing it. But the book, How to Do the Work. How to Do the Work. If it resonates with anybody right now, definitely pick it up because I feel like that's something. And long story short, Kenzie, sorry. If you're working through it and you're struggling with that, maybe check out that book because I feel like that author specifically talks a lot about like dependency, codependency, and a lot of the things like you kind of mentioned. And so it might be a good resource. I know, Cheyenne, I stayed up like when I got it from the library finally, I stayed up and probably like 3 hours past my bedtime because I was just like, it's such a page turner. Like it's such an easy read. Like, and I love it. All right, Lori, general reading. I'm going to pull these cards. I have so many books right now. Like there's a stack by my bed. And I never read them quick enough, and then I have to take them back to the library. It's this whole thing. But I don't like buying books because they take up a lot of space. I only like to buy them if I know I'm going to reread them. So like all the books that I own are behind me on these little shelves. Like I did a cleanse and got rid of anything that I knew I wasn't going to read again. Okay, so Lori, I pulled all three of these cards in reverse. Angel, Mentor, and Gossip. Let's see what we got. This isn't Lori, though. Okay, I'll just start, and you can tell me. I don't feel like this is you. Maybe it's somebody around you. So somebody acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely, or maybe they're falsely claiming to be in touch with wisdom, guidance, knowledge that they don't actually possess. They are enabled to move beyond being a student and into like a mentor position. They impart false instruction. Like I'm getting something around your daughter. Is this like somebody like a school mom or something like that, like a teacher? This person thrives on the power of passing on private or information, betraying confidences. Like this totally feels like soccer mom shit. This is so specific. I'm just gonna pull one clarifier. Oh my gosh. sorry, spirit is just coming through super strong. I don't think this is for Lori though, so I'm dismissing them. I used to be that way, Cheyenne, and then I was like, I do not have enough time in my life to read all of these. I need to be a lot better. Like, I've had to like train myself, like, if I don't think I'm gonna like the book, to just stop, like, finish it. I just don't have enough time in my day. All right, Lori, I don't know who this is, but this is very specifically somebody coming in who is just like, again, like, they pretend to have knowledge that they don't. They falsely claim to have it. They're imparting that false instruction, inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master. It's like they can't do this in themselves. I mean, this deck actually is really good for shadow work. Anytime I need to be like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, where am I being a jerk? Like, just tell me. And then I'll pull something like this. Inability to allow the student to move on to the role of the master, thrives on the power of passing private or secret information. This might be teacher related. It might even be a teacher with your daughter. Like, maybe just pay attention to it. But this is just understanding that you, Lori, have the wise leadership within you. You know how to handle this. I feel like this is your daughter. Like, I feel like this is somebody coming in and just like saying things to your daughter, and your daughter coming home and being like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, this person is a jerk. And this is you being the leader and understanding that you are the mentor. You do have the knowledge of how to help them. You do have the ability not to gossip, and like you're going to step above whatever this person is and be kind of like the rock of guidance is what I'm hearing. And it's like you're being the wise leader, whereas this person is being not the wisest leader. And something about standing in this integrity is going to help. I'm so curious if that is already happening or not. That's a very like specific message. That's kind of cool. So I was like, this isn't Lori. Like, I don't feel like Lori's walking around being like, I know better than everybody else. All right. Hey guys, welcome in. What is the deal tonight? Like, why don't we have our group of people? And it's literally not because I'm like sitting here like, I need more people, but I'm very curious. Like, I just read into the energy because I'm like, energetically, something is different. Expect powerful change. Show the world the real you. I don't know what that means. I keep hearing a lot about change, especially for this month. I keep seeing 555 everywhere. Number fives, which of course there's 5 people in here right now. That is all about powerful change. And show the world the real you. That has been the theme lately of my life. I know what you mean, Lori. All right, guys, let's do another individual reading. So it doesn't look like we have any donations tonight. So if you're in here, it's a very lucky night to be in here, I think, because normally we have so many people in here and I'm just like, donation after donation. Thinking of another color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. And even though I will not be doing a live reading the following week, next Tuesday, I'm going to be on vacation. Woo! I'm going to California. Feel free to reach out to me anytime for a reading. I can get readings in this week, even before I go and after I get back. So I'm thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. I'm rooting for you, silly rabbit. Be the Eureka of tonight. Go through them all. Nobody's got me yet. Also, guys, it's September. Jeez, where did the time go? Pink! Cheyenne, you got it. Woohoo! Cheyenne, let me know what your question is. October, I've got all sorts of fun, spooky themed videos coming your way. I'm very interested ahead of time how interested you guys are in hearing from my husband. So I interviewed my husband. It's coming up this Friday. I basically asked him a bunch of questions about me being psychic. Let me know if that's like something you'd even be interested in now. You can be nice. I mean, you can be mean and tell me no. I'm not interested. Isn't that funny how that works, Silly Rabbit? Sometimes it's like that first gut feeling is the correct one, but then you second guessed it. That happens all the time, even in the classes that I took at the Aspen program. That was like the running joke. Like, I thought of that first, but I just did. I also have coaching packages up now, you guys. I know some of you members, I talked about this last live, but somebody came and asked if they could get like a package of coaching sessions with me. And I was like, yes, I don't have it, but now I do. Which obviously, it's not. What am I trying to say? Lauren's brain isn't here tonight. I think that's why I'm not having a lot of people. Is my guides are like, you'd be overwhelmed right now. A lot of crazy dreams lately, and my ex-boyfriend has been showing up in a lot of them. Ooh. Okay, they want me to pull the goddess deck. I'm immediately hearing shadow work. Is that still relevant to her? A little bit. That one popped out. Generosity. Healing. Divine child. Okay. I think this is coming up because there was a lesson about this ex that you learned that is like needed right now. And I pulled the divine child. And I feel like this is you. Innocence, purity, redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, Cheyenne, but it feels like this was you, maybe younger, maybe even up until you were in this relationship. But there's something about this relationship that maybe this got destroyed a little bit. Like that child within you got destroyed. And I'm specifically being drawn to the shadow side of this card, which is an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. I feel like that's against him. Like, I assume he didn't do something nice, and not that you need to share that, but like afterwards you felt like, oh my gosh, I didn't know how to protect myself. Like, I don't know how to protect myself. I'm such a child. Like, and I feel like this is what's needing, this card is, I think it's literally just this word that I needed, healing. And it's healing this side of yourself that, like, I feel like you're beating you instance, because I feel like you haven't probably thought about this in a while. It's like you beat yourself up over the fact that, like, you couldn't foresee it coming. You couldn't defend yourself from this ex. Like, something happened and you sort of feel like he violated you. Maybe it's just, not even saying like physically or anything like that, just emotionally. And it made you feel like, oh, well, I can't protect myself. Like, I can't, there's a loss of innocence is what is happening. And the fact that this is the divine child card, this is blocking your intuitive self. Like, not even your intuitive self as much as your ability to connect to source, whatever you believe in, guides, God. It's almost like because you feel like you can't protect yourself against other people, it's like, oh, somewhere in your mind, it's like, well, I can't protect myself in other situations in my life. I can't connect in this way to other people because there's something wrong with me. I feel like this is coming up right now because your commitment is being tested. I feel like there's something going on in your life where right now it's like the same lesson coming up again of like, I can't defend myself. I can't keep the negative at bay. But this whole reading is basically they're trying to say to you, like, no, you are this divine child. Like, I don't know if you can see this card, but it's like you have the ability to connect with the divine, protect yourself, and like really tap into this inner power and redeem yourself. Like, you don't need anything other than to tap into this part of yourself. And how you can do this? Through generosity with yourself, like giving yourself a little bit more credit for like where you've been, what you've gone through. Like, it's very much about like getting rid of those negative thought patterns towards yourself of like, I just feel like this is all like just a mental block that happened back then of like, I am inefficient at something because of this relationship. And it's kind of been stuck there in the back of your mind. And now it's being called to heal. Sometimes when people have dreams about their ex, they're like, does it mean he's going to show up? I don't feel like that's the case at all. I feel like it's that there's something else going on in life. And this old pattern is being brought to attention because it's kind of getting in your way again, if that makes sense. I just kind of like want to know what it's about. What is this about? It's about your intuition. Like, I pulled the priest card. Like, to me, that's like crown chakra. It's your ability to connect again to that higher source. That's kind of interesting. So there's a psychic block here around this old relationship. And there's something about, the way that this person treated you that makes you feel like you don't deserve to connect to the divine. I think that's, to sum it up in a sentence. Very toxic relationship. Suck at giving myself credit. Me too, girl. Me too. Alrighty, guys. All right, if you're just joining us, we're going to continue to do guessing games until we get a donation, which I just feel like that's not gonna happen tonight. That's okay. I'm gonna keep going with colors. I am thinking of. I was about to say the color. I'm thinking of a color. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Oh my goodness. Where's my head at tonight? If you guys want some psychic practice, you can read me. What's going on with Lauryn? She's all over the place. Oh, and I forgot to save my Astro Dice. You're welcome, Cheyenne. Thank you for being a member. White, silly rabbit, you got it. Bam. Does Silly Rabbit get a reading tonight? I don't think so. Silly Rabbit, let me know what your question is. So I've told you guys before, I'm making my own. These are the ones I bought. But the first mold that I made, it came out okay. But the mold itself was wrong. Or bad. So I redid the mold. And then I poured another one. And it was really good. The mold itself was awesome. But the dice, I just tried to put flowers in it, and they all floated to the top. So there's a bunch of flowers crammed in the top. But I think I've got everything worked out. Third time's the charm. I'm going to have Astro Dice, I think, up for sale. And Lori gave me such a great idea because she said, did yours come with a guidebook? And they don't. So I'm going to make some sort of PDF or little insert that I can give you guys, and they'll be custom made Astro Dice. Woohoo! And I am going to be giving away 3 during October. So pay attention to my Instagram if you want your own chance at getting one of my Astro Dice that I'm going to make myself. I'm going to think of a good question. Oh, well, Cheyenne, I will say my podcast is literally my YouTube videos just re-uploaded as MP3. So if you've seen all my videos, I wouldn't bother. One day I'm going to come up with my own, and honestly, it's been coming up so much, like I just need to sit down and do it. But yeah, the podcast is just my YouTube videos. And the reason why I did that was because some people are just not YouTube people and they are podcast people, and so if they find me through the podcast, awesome. But yeah, I need to come up with like actual podcast content, like separate content that is not found on my YouTube channel. And I think all I need to do is just sit down and record myself blabbing, which is pretty easy for me. So I'm glad you guys are so excited for the Astro Dice. I'm going to share, I keep needing a night to do the molds, but like I really need my son to be in bed because like the fumes are bad. And like I just also need him not, my son is like 1 year old and he's just all over the place, climbing all over me. And I can't have him climbing on me while I'm trying to make these dice. Awesome. That's great, Cheyenne. Well, I will commit to trying to get one independent podcast up this month. Like not a YouTube video, some sort of other podcast. And it's purely because I've also been listening to other people's podcasts. And I'm like, oh, I like this. Okay. So Silly Rabbit won the reading, and she asked, what advice do my guides have for me in regards to my recent disagreements I've been having in my relationship right now? It's been hard to deal with the emotions. Is this family? I'd be confused. Is this family relationships? Not like a significant other. I'll do it, Cheyenne. You have to hold me to it. I've been wanting to do it anyway, so I'm not like... you don't have to twist my arm is what I'm saying. Not family. Okay. Sometimes I just like to clarify because otherwise I could be connecting to the total wrong person. Is it career? Someone I have feelings for. Okay. It's not that chiropractor, is it? Just kidding. It's loud. Okay. What advice do my guides have for me in regards to Okay. I clairvoyantly like see a tarot spread that I'm supposed to lay out. Like I see like this deck, and there needs to be one card here, one card there, other tarot deck. Hell no to chiropractor. I just did that to tease. Okay, let me just pull one more. Hey everyone, if you are joining us, I'm just reading Silly Rabbit really quick. She guessed the guessing game and got the next free reading. So I feel like this is him and this is you. This is what you want. You're wanting your knight in shining armor. You want loyalty, you want romance, you want chivalry, you want a love of honor. How perfect is that? But I feel like this person that you might have, that you have feelings for, they're a shapeshifter. So they're like constantly throwing you off because sometimes they totally match up with like what you want, but then other times they're not matching up. It's like, who is this person? And the shadow side of being like having this shapeshifter quality about yourself is that you project any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. And that's what's bad is, somebody that is constantly going around and just, people pleasing is like what I'm hearing, or, whatever they want in that moment, they're going to just disregard everyone else to get that. But it's difficult because at times they can be this way, be a good way. Sorry. And the fact that I pulled it upright, I feel like it's a good thing. Because I feel like they might actually be teaching you to see the potential in everything with all these different possibilities of like people pleasing, which is interesting because it's like, I feel like your idea of people pleasing is like a very negative thing, but there's something about it that's good, that in the way that this person does it. But I did pull this in reverse, which literally says be bold and make the first move. So I'm getting very opposite energy of like, hold on, now's not the right timing. Just let it kind of sit for a bit. And then I asked kind of like, what can we do about this? And I got the Goddess Scold. She showed up in our membership reading or live night last week. I can't remember what she's about. So let me just, I think she's a Norse goddess, if I'm correct. Yeah, Norse goddess. As you said, your intentions for the life you desire. The Norse goddess Skuld comes in to show you glimpses of your future. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's all I need. So this is like your intentions. Like, I want my knight in shining armor. What you're seeing now and what you're having difficulties with is you're seeing, okay, if I had a future with this person, I'm seeing all these different sides of him or her. And it's like, your guides are like, is this something that you want? Is this something you can handle? You experience these magical journey markers as flashes of insight and moments of inspiration. Blah, blah, blah. It's fun when things turn out exactly as you predicted, but remember, well, I don't think the rest of this is. I think I was just supposed to read that first sentence, honestly. So yeah, I think that's why you're having difficulties, is because you're already like seeing that ahead of time. Honestly, this feels very neutral to me. Like, I feel like don't do anything about it now. But it's up to you if you decide you want to like come in and work at this, because I don't feel like you can fix this in them. I feel like if anything, you'd have to work with it and kind of let go of your own misconceptions. Like, I'm feeling very drawn to like our general reading that we gave at the very beginning in regards to this. Michael, get out of here. Just kidding. You totally read me. So yeah, that's it. No, yes, I was being serious, Michael. Because I'm feeling like weird. I'm feeling weird with the energy tonight. And it's not that I'm not connected to my intuition, because I like am, but there's something else that's like disconnected on my like, you know, when I always talk about left brain, right brain, like I'm here with my right brain, but my left brain is just like, and I'm not using it, but when I try to like bring the information back and like talk to you guys, that's where I'm just like, I'm feeling like my brain is in circles. Anyway, but no, I'll answer you. I did ask because I'm like, why is this happening? And I think it's why we have such a small amount of people in here tonight. I think my guides are trying to make sure people don't come in here and overwhelm me, but troubled family relationship likely ending. Well, yeah, I sort of mentioned that. Like, I feel like right now I'm going through, again, this process of like letting go of the old me, and I'm trying to embrace the new me, which is not really new as much as just like the truer version of me. And so I'm trying to like, I don't want to say cut people out, but just get rid of people that I know won't support me. Like, I keep their opinions way too close to me. And for a lot of that is some of my family, not my close family. My close family is all really awesome, but my extended family, very conservative. And I feel like, you know, I'm kind of getting into like witchy, magic-y things. And I feel like I have to kind of step into that power and kind of embrace that a little bit more. And I feel like I can't because of, you know, what will family members think about me. And I kind of am going through this process of like, well, I don't have to have them know everything about me, and that's okay. And so that, I think that's like the ending that you're totally sensing. But I'm definitely like ending a chapter of my life energetically right now. And like literally, I was around them all Sunday, and this just got all reaffirmed for me for sure. Oh, did it? What was I saying? What were the cards? Basically, what the overall message was, Silly Rabbit, was like you're getting a glimpse into the future, and it's total neutral. It's totally neutral right now. Like, you don't have to pursue this relationship, and you probably shouldn't right at this specific moment. But if you did, it's like you're getting flashes of like what it would be like to be with this person. Like, there might be some conflict, and I feel like it's actually, they're not totally wrong. Like, there's something about you that you would have to let go of a little bit. Like, there'd be some tension there for sure, but it doesn't mean you couldn't work through it, is like what I was getting. Yeah, awaken within, that's what I've kind of had to do energetically. All right, guys. Let's do another, I think I'm going to do let's do one more free reading, and then we'll go ahead and just cut it off for donations. I don't know if we're going to get any, again, totally fine, but we're just going to cut off there. So I am thinking of a color. Again, if you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. And if you're interested in growing your psychic ability more, and you're waiting on my videos to come out, do know that I have a Facebook group that you can jump into and engage with other people, start conversations, be like, hey, who wants to exchange a reading? Anybody can do that and jump in there and start practicing now. We actually have a big group. It's quite impressive. I'm thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. And also, if you're just joining us, how do I join the Facebook group? How would you find it? If you just go to my Facebook page, same name, Psychic Lauryn, you can go to the group tab, and then you should see it. You get as many guesses as you want. I should always say that. Fast as you can type. I'm thinking of a color. I've almost said the color like 4 times. My head is not here. Michael, pin the tail on the donkey. Thank you, Michael, by the way. I'm curious, did you use your tarot cards for that, or were you just using your intuition? Because you were so on. Melinda, you got it. It was orange. I love when like somebody jumps in that hasn't like once commented, and it's like total new person, and then they get it. Melinda, let me know what your question is in the chat, and I will pull some cards. And I'll rescind what I said. I'll do one more free reading for tonight. Otherwise, we'll just we'll do donations for the rest of the night. Back, your phone died. I'm glad you're back. I love that you guys hang out with me all night. I appreciate it. So Melinda guessed correctly. It was orange. I was looking at my orange sticky notes over here. And again, I won't be live next Tuesday. I'm going to California. I'm so excited. You're on point all night for me. All night. All right. Melinda, I'm going to pull the goddess cards for you. Thank you, Cheyenne. We're just doing the beach one day, Disneyland another day. I'm so freaking excited. I'll be sure to share photos too. So if you guys follow me on Instagram and you want to see what we're up to in California, I'll try to share a photo or two. All right. Rosalina, you can use the super chat button, which is like that little dollar symbol, or you could use Venmo as well. You're in Cali. Oh, fun. All right, Melinda. I pulled 3 cards. It's this one that I'm not sure. This is a newer deck for me, so. This is like super good sign coming through, Melinda. So let me just start with this one. This is Maya. And it says illusion, but it's good. It says when you look at the world, everything you see appears to be real. So it's easy to imagine that your current conditions are influenced only by obvious actions and calculated movements. This is an illusion, though, as everything is intrinsically connected, though not visible to us due to the limitations imposed on our perception by our senses. So this is the Hindu goddess of illusion, calls you to trust that the invisible world is responding to your deepest desires and intentions to make a better life for yourself and others. Your clarity and intuition is heightened. Trust that everything you need arises from your world with ease. So this is just 100% confirmation that like everything coming in right now is for you. I mean, everything is moving in such a good way for you. You might not be able to see it. And it's not necessarily because of those like calculated actions like it was talking about. Some of it is just beyond that. Some of that is like the magic that our guides co-create with us. And I think why this is happening, Melinda, is you're using, so this is the wise leadership card, but I feel like this is because you're actually using your intuition a lot to like make choices. Like you're being a leader with your intuition. It's like you're getting information, you're acting on it, and you're using it in a really good way. And I feel like, Melinda, you might, this is like maybe even subconscious, like you don't even know you're doing this. But it feels like you are so in tune, so connected with that intuition, and you're being seen, or your actions are coming across as, you know, a wise leader. And because of that, you're manifesting and you're bringing in all these good things. I feel like you're very attached to like, oh, well, it's because I'm putting in the hard work. It's because I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But this is calling to the attention that like, no, you're connected intuitively, and your guides are like working behind the scenes to create this magic. Like these two go together like so well. This is like all you need for manifesting. And because of it, a win-win outcome is in forecast. So whatever you're trying to manifest, like whatever it is that's coming through, Melinda, just like have absolute faith. Like you don't, like I'm getting such like put your feet up, like rest, like you're totally taken care of. You're totally taken care of right now. Absolutely. In crazy ways. That's so awesome, Melinda. I need some of your energy. Tarot cards plus intuition. That's awesome, Michael. I'm glad it's working so well. Nine of Cups and Nine of Pentacles. That actually like totally resonates with me, because the 9 is about being like almost there. You're almost there. Thank you, Michael. All right. Thank you, Rosalina, for your donation. Let's see. Will my ex-husband and I get back together? Did I say one more after Melinda, or was that before that? Again, intuition mind is here. Left brain is not here. Which just goes to show, like, you can still use your intuition when your left brain is poop. Oh, why am I shuffling these? I don't want that one. I want this one. No, I do want this one. Okay. Okay. I've never pulled that card. Okay. So I pulled Assurance in reverse. Gosh, she looks creepy. I don't like her face. So this is Danu Assurance. I pulled it in reverse. So alignment message. There are days when you wonder if you're on the right track, if your dreams are valid, if you have what it takes to show up and shine. You may have hit a dry spell where it appears that nothing is happening and it makes you doubt yourself. When this earth goddess appears, this is a Celtic earth goddess, she's reminding you of the promise of new life. Just as fields are often left purposely fallow, perhaps this seeming dry spell of yours is really a preparation time. Under the ground of your visible life lies a stream of abundance that is feeding the roots of the seedlings of your intentions planted in your field of dreams. Go about your day-to-day life with faith. Danu assures you that the form of your desires will show up in divine timing in an even more magical way that you can imagine. I love that message. Honestly, Rosalina, what I'm getting with this is I feel like your guides are kind of saying, like, let's pull you away from the distraction of your ex and talk about the fact that you're feeling like you're not on the right track. Like you're in this dry spell, and that's why you're being like attracted to this old relationship. And I think it's because you're focusing on what you're missing instead of what you have. So like the fact that this talked about abundance and planting like the seeds for this next preparation period of your life, I feel like that's what you're not doing. And I feel like you're kind of focusing on the past instead. Because like intuitively, I feel like you can get together with him, but what they're saying more is like, should you? And I feel like if you could release him and his energy and plant these seeds, you know, I think what the fear is like that the seed will take forever to grow. And because of that, you're not planting the seed. You're going to the easiest option, which is backwards. It's in the past. It's not progressive. I'm just going to see if there's anything else that I want to say. I pulled the vampire card. I feel like the idea of this relationship is totally sucking your energy to the point where like you can't think about like what that next step would be, whether that's just being alone for a bit or, you know, manifesting a new person. I would really sit with those feelings. I feel like I just went over this like a couple readings back of like doing the shadow work, like feeling the actual emotions. Like I feel like if you sat and gave yourself 90 seconds to go through the entire emotion, you know, it wouldn't be as bad as you thought it would. And, you know, really sitting with the fears that you have. Like, what is the fear of not being with him? Like, that's where they're taking me. And they take me where they want to. It's not always like what you want to hear. But like they're literally trying to like turn you around and face you another direction. It's time to release negativity. It is a Facebook group. Angels are here. Yay! Thank you, Melinda. Hi, Stacy. You're from the UK. I know my timing is so bad with you folks in the UK. I almost get nobody in here because I think it's like the middle of the night for you guys. Hi, Stacy. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, but if you just go to my Facebook page, you can go to my groups, and that's where that's at. It's 3:40 a.m. Yeah, see, that's why I never get UK folks, and I'm always so bummed because a good percentage of you guys that follow me are from the UK. There's 0.1% that's in Japan, and I almost wonder if that 0.1% is Yurika. And I think there's one other person in here that is from Japan as well. It's funny though. All right, I think I said one more free reading. Did I finish Rosalina? yeah, I hope that makes sense, Rosalina. Let me know if you need me to clarify. I think overall what I'm getting is like your guides are like, no, let's focus on what you need to release and all the negativity around it so that you can fully embrace this next chapter. Like they were super, encouraging you that like, hey, you're planting the seeds for this next chapter. And I think instead what you're doing is like you're digging up the dirt on this past dead plant, in comparison. And they really want you to shift your focus into manifesting the new instead of digging up the old. All right. Here, I'll share my Facebook page really quick. I will do one last reading. I'm thinking of another color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. And while you guys are guessing, I'm just going to pull up my Facebook group really quick. I'm crazy, you guys. There's an easier way to get it. If you go to my links in the description down below, you'll see my link tree. And my link tree, there's a big button that says join the Facebook Psychic Development Group. It's right there. So yeah, I'm thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. And again, if you guys miss me and you subscribe and you watch me again, I do a group reading at the beginning of every night. Even if you're watching replay, I set the intention that those are for you. Gold, awaken within, you got it. So awaken within, let me know if you have a question. I'm going to stop free readings there for the rest of the night, so we'll do donations only. But yeah, I won't be streaming live next Tuesday, but I will be doing it the Tuesday after because I will be out of town next week. And then I don't know how many times I've said this. I apologize if I've said it too much, but my husband is starting his own YouTube channel. They did their first live stream today. The channel is called Creative Crits. It is in my description down below. I think it's too small to be searchable. But if you guys just happen to like tabletop games, RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know much about it myself, but if you're interested and you want to see a group of people, I think you might like them. So check them out. And my husband is going to be in my next video coming up this Friday. I'm interviewing him and asking him about what it's like being married to a psychic. And I asked a lot of questions that you guys asked. Can you please ask my guides or angels, ascended teachers, for guidance on what I should do this month to better my fall and winter? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Are you, Cheyenne? I'm worried people are going to be like, why is she filming her husband? Like, I don't care about him. I'm not here to watch him. We ramble a lot in this video. Honestly, it'll be a good one for a podcast. Did I turn that one into a podcast? I don't think I did. Shit. I'm going to need to turn that one into a podcast too. The ones that make sense as like a podcast, I'll export it as an MP3 also and put it up on my podcast. Anyway. Better your fall and winter. Let's see what I got to say. Time. I'm so glad that I worked with these cards tonight because I'm pulling all sorts of cards that I've never pulled out of here. So I do feel like the number 3 is significant. Awaken within. Oh, I wish I remembered what the number 3 was all about, though. What is the number 3? Isn't it like mind, body, and like spirit? It's like the synchronicity of, or not synchronicity. It's yeah, that's what it is. So 3, and I didn't remember that. That was totally my guides putting it in my head. So definitely like making sure that your mental self, your physical self, and your spiritual self are all like in alignment, and obviously as much as they can be. So being healthy in all 3 aspects of your life. Now I'm just going to look at what this specific card means. This goddess is goddess Arian Rod. not know if I'm saying that right. Right now, you have all the time in the world to reach the fullest potential of your intentions and desires. Arian Rod, the Celtic goddess of time, is your ally, and she will ensure your timing is perfect. The hours will expand to gift you with the space you need to complete anything that you started. Today, recognize that no matter what is in front of you, time is your friend. Consider that everything you intend and desire has also had its own relationship to time, and it will come to you in the perfect form, perfect moment. Patience, dedication, and quiet anticipation are delicate yet potent allies right now. Your timing is perfect. I feel like that's so perfect, Awaken Within, because I was feeling like this energy around fall and winter, like you're preparing for something that's potentially bad. And I think this is saying, like, even if that's to come, like, you have the time and the space to deal with it now, if that makes sense. You have all the time and the space to get it. Let me pull one more card. And thank you, Stacy. I should have said Stacy. I'm sorry. I do have a minimum donation, but I can do like a yes or no question for €1. So let me know what your question is. Otherwise, if you can donate $5, I'll do like a full reading. And I don't know what that is. I can look it up if I need to. I'm definitely getting Awaken Within, like, you're gonna have to put in the work. You're gonna have to do it yourself. Like, this isn't just gonna magically happen. But as long as you're in the understanding that you have all the time in the world, and whatever it is that you're afraid of or preparing for, that you're surrendering to the divine, you trust that you will be taken care of no matter what, then it won't hit you as hard as you're expecting it to, if that makes sense. So I'm really, to answer your question, Awaken Within, it's really about trusting the timing and that you can fit everything you need to do in ahead of time. Like the part of like the hours expanding is really sticking out to me. And even if you don't get everything you feel like you need to get done, the message is like, you had everything you needed. It's okay. Don't look back and worry about what time you didn't have. Everything is perfectly timed right now. Good night, Cheyenne. I shared your husband's YouTube video with my son-in-law. Yay! Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. Well, and if he's in Colorado, I mean, there might be opportunities to like work together in the future for sure. My husband is trying to basically not do like himself as like the main dungeon dude every single game, because that would be a lot. So he's bringing in several different groups to play several different reoccurring games, so it's not all on him, which is, I think, very smart. I would love to see the interview with your husband. Well, it's coming out this Friday. You can already see it. The premiere is scheduled. So I have a new video every Friday. And if you're subscribed and if you jump in when the video goes live, I usually hang out in the chat and answer any questions that you guys have. But yeah, I hope it's helpful. I hope it's not just like rambling nonsense. But a lot of the videos that I make are videos that I would want to see. And so I just hope that hopefully enough other people would want to see them. I mean, it got me this far, so let's see. Does my mom forgive me? I'm gonna pull this card. I'll pull one card for this, Stacy. And so Awaken Within, like, in that regard, it's like, you know, not getting hung up on all the time slipping away the last 2 months. It's all happening within perfect timing. You haven't lost anything. You have all the time you need to get back into it. And I do think that we go on spiritual breaks. We need that every now and then. You can't be 100% on 100% of the time. Okay. Here. Stacey. Does mom forgive you? I'm like immediately hearing yes and no. Helpful. Interesting. So I pulled a visionary card. And what I'm immediately is like she sees something that you don't. And I could be wrong, Stacey, but it feels like there is some aspects that like you had to own up to, like, oh, I didn't do this the best. Like it was kind of on me a little bit, but it was also kind of on her. I feel like her energy is a little bit waiting for you. She's waiting for this idea of like where you need to be in order for her to talk to you again. That's why I'm getting like this yes and no. It's like no right now. And when I say no right now, it's like talking to you. Like I feel like she automatically has already forgiven you, but it's like this next level of forgiveness. Like there's still a little bit of resentment there. But it's like when you've hit this new idea of what you're supposed to be in her mind, it will be even more so forgiven. Whether or not that idea or not is good, I'm not 100% sure. She might not ever have that fulfilled, if that makes sense. But I'm definitely getting like she has some merit in this thought process, if that makes sense. My sister-in-law has been hired to create the quest. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I hope he enjoys it. They're new. They're starting their channel out, but I think that they've been playing D&D for years, and obviously he knows all these actors because we're in film and we've got all this film equipment, and I think he's just got the resources to do it. And obviously we have 2 other YouTube channels in our family, so we know YouTube. I think he's going to grow on YouTube infinitely faster than I am, which it's not a competition, but I keep telling him intuitively, I'm like, you're going to get monetized in like a year. I just know it. Thank you, Awaken Within. Yes, donations I'm done with the free readings for tonight. So donations for the rest of the evening. I'll probably stick around for like 15, 20 more minutes. I need water though. Yeah, if anyone has any recommendations on places to go in California, we've only got 2 days, but I'm really trying not to plan a whole lot because we have a 1-year-old, and I'm just like, I'm gonna take it slow because I've never traveled with a child. This is like our test trip, testing the airport, testing the plane. It's going to be interesting. Testing the fact that we don't have the crib or his nap schedule. It could be a nightmare. Oh, and that reminds me, I did want to say, if you're ever going on a trip, one of the things that you can do is you can pull a card and say, what is the energy that I need to be aware of on my trip? Because sometimes your trips are like, the message is like, hey, you really need to slow down and chill and just enjoy every second of being there. Sometimes the message is like, hey, watch out for the people that you're going with, like protect your energy. Sometimes family vacations can be stressful. Other times it could be like, hey, connect in a very spiritual way on this trip. There's an opportunity for you to, spiritually connect to this place that you're going to. So that's one thing I always like to do before I go on trips is like, hey, what do I need to know about this trip? And so I pulled the card for this trip, and it was hope. And I like instantly knew what it meant. And it was like, this is the trip that I'm supposed to go on to have hope that I'll have more vacations in the future, and kind of anchor myself in the energy of like, I deserve this. I'm okay with this. I can take a break from my hustling to do it. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lori. Oh, interesting, Stacy. I was reading her as alive. I just assumed. I just want to like reframe that. I think the message is always still the same. I just, the context might have been off, but That makes so much more sense though now with that visionary card. She has a vision of the future and how this is all supposed to unfold, especially from that other side. And you just can't see it yet. And that's why I'm like, that makes sense with like, she's already forgiven you. There's going to be a new level. I'm hearing now too, it's like when you forgive yourself. And I think you're going to see a new side of it too, like when you cross over and when you reconnect spiritually. But yeah, I don't think she's holding on to anything, especially regarding that. Like I was reading it as, you know, little arguments that you guys might have had as like a mother-daughter. That's interesting. Anyway, okay. Thank you, Spiritual Jada. Will Khalil respond to my text? I want us to be friends again, but if it's not meant to be, then that's that. I don't think he is. So like the cards that I'm pulling, so I pulled the athlete in reverse, but I know this card is about like going the distance, but because it's in reverse, I feel like that's him, and I don't feel like he's going to do that. Like I don't feel like he's putting in the time, the effort, you know, the strength, the power, you know, things that we associate with athletes to contact you back. And I pulled cards for you of like, why is this necessary for you? Like, why do you want it? Like, why is there still that holding on to it to some level? It's because you want to desire the balance. You want to set the scales of justice right. This is like the Avenger card. You want righteousness for yourself. Like you want to feel like he respects you and, you know, gives you that equal credit back. And that's what's hard, is because sometimes people just won't do that. And so it's almost like you have to give that to yourself. You have to give that balance to yourself. And I'm hearing through forgiveness. Like it's about understanding that it's like the visual image that they're giving me is like you're trying to be like getting a high five from him. And he's like, no. And you're just like, no, I need this high five. And they're saying like, you can give it to yourself. I know that's like a bad example, but it's when we're attached to other people's energies because we want something that we think we can't get from ourselves. And so right now you're wanting to feel justified. You're wanting to feel justified in your emotions, but you can give yourself that justification. It doesn't need to come from them. And so maybe that's, you know, giving yourself a talking to, maybe it's forgiving yourself. Maybe it's, you know, coming to the realizations of like what you did wrong and saying, okay, I'm not going to do this again. But right now your energy is very much like a slave to his energy and to this whole situation. It's like you're giving your willpower to somebody else out of fear of making your own choices. I just feel like everything has been a lie. Well, and I totally get it. I totally get it, girl. Because, like, the Avenger card is like you want justification. You want that balance. And it's so frustrating. And I feel like I just went through this with, like, a friend. And it was, like, me showing up and saying, hey, this bothers me. Can we talk about it? And they basically were like, no, screw you. It was really hard for me to let go because I was like, no, you're supposed to meet me at the same level. Like we're supposed to be equal. We're supposed to be at this level where we both do this give and take. And I didn't get that in return. And so I feel like that is sort of similar to what's happening with you, is because, you know, you're wanting that. You see what needs to be done, but they don't. It's so frustrating when, you know, we have people around us that can't meet us at that level, if that makes sense. And so the hard part is releasing the energy and finding that balance within ourselves. Like, I shouldn't say balance as much as like justice. It's getting that justice with not from that person, if that makes sense. I'm going to be... I didn't hear this part of it. Yeah, I'm going to be like in between Disneyland and the beach. So kind of like a little bit south LA, if that makes sense. I'm only going to be there for 2 days. We were thinking about going to the San Diego Zoo. I don't think we're going to do that. I just need, like, sort of plans. Like, I don't know. Again, I don't want to plan too much, but I know that first day, the beach will only last for so long. We'll get tired. We'll need to go shower. And I'm like, what else can I do in the evening in LA with the baby? And I think the last day, the day that we fly out, we'll probably do, like, maybe Griffith Park. I don't know. I need to look up if the Disney Family Museum is in California. Or I can't remember if that's in, like, Missouri. I'm a huge Disney freak, so anything Disney, I gotta go see. Mount Shasta. Ooh, where's that at? Awaken Within. Is that, like, north, south? Goes to show he's been fake the entire time, honestly. Yeah. Brian Scott. Oh, cool. I have to look up Mount. I feel like I've heard of Mount Shasta before. Yeah, and so Jada, I feel like that's that Avenger coming out on from you. It's like you want to be justified. You want him to, like, say sorry. You want him to own up to his feelings. You want him to turn around and be like, no, I did really love you. It's like you want that justification. And that's what's so hard is, like, you just don't get it in life sometimes from people. And I hate that. I hate that for you. And I hate that for myself. Like, again, I just, like, literally just went through this, and it's so hard because you have to be the one to be like, all right, I'm going to give it to myself and I'm going to release this relationship. I'm sorry, Jada. Just remember, the point here is that you can give this to yourself. Do not look for it from him because he's not going to give it to you. Instead, examine your feelings. What are your feelings? What are you feeling like you need from him? And how can you give that to yourself? Like, that's the big thing. Again, guys, like, I'll preach it, like, all night tonight. The book, How to Do the Work, I think I'm literally only a third of the way through it, but I'm already, like, recommending it to everybody I know. It's so good. It's like a therapist in a book. La Jolla Seals. Write it down. Thank you, Erin. Also, guys, I did a podcast with Erin. Not in California. A podcast with Erin on her channel. Her podcast, which is Erin's Spiritual Cafe. If you want to listen to that podcast with her, definitely go add that and listen to it. Definitely a good one, like, on your commute to listen to. Thank you, NC. Should I take this job offer at EDSI? I'm just, like, immediately like, yes! This is what you wanted, isn't it? That's, like, first what I'm hearing. I think the reason is you can't yet see what it's going to be, NC, but I'm feeling like all good things around it. Like, any fears that you have, sit with them and examine them and be like, what's really scaring me about this? I feel like it's like a trapped sense, like I'm worried I'm going to get trapped here. But go into this with a vision of, like, open the potential for what this vision could be with this job. Because I feel like you're like, oh, this is what it's going to be. It actually can be a lot bigger than that. Like, I feel like there's room for growth. I feel like you can move around. I feel like there's a lot that you could actually do with it, but you just aren't. You're seeing it through a pinhole because maybe your past perception of this job has sort of been like that. Like, maybe it's been like a second best. You're welcome, Jada. Thanks for stopping by. I mean, feel free to hang out. And I think why this is happening, NC, I pulled the pessimism, disbelief in miracles. This is the magical child card. And I feel like there's a reason why you can't see the bigger vision. And I feel like it's kind of deeper, maybe block of, like, just feeling like you can't have miracles happen. Like, you can't have amazing, beautiful things come out of something. Like, I feel like you're very much looking at it like, what's the money? How much do I have to work for it? Like, have a bigger vision of it. Like, I could have fun here. I could move up the ladder here, or even not even move up the ladder. Like, I could work more, make more money, but then have more free time at home. Like, really get into the optimism of this, get into the potential for what this could be, the belief that everything is possible. And I think that's why you're feeling like on the fence, is because your vision of it is just too small right now. But I just heard like, yes, like this is what you've been manifesting, even if you can't see it right now. And obviously, too, you guys, like, take this advice with a grain of salt. I am not God. I can be wrong. I can definitely be not connecting correctly. Trust your gut. Absolutely. Ooh, that's so cool. Mount Shasta. Crystal City. Atlantis. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Malibu. Cross Creek. Malibu. Yeah, I feel like I've been to Malibu like every single time that I've gone, but that is a great suggestion. Thank you. I've done California several times, and I feel like I always go to the same places. Yeah, Malibu Beach is one of those. Like, the last time we went, we took our dog with us, and we realized how, like, not dog friendly California is at all. Definitely not like Colorado. We talked a ton. We did. It was wonderful. Thank you, Silly Rabbit. Silly Rabbit, let me know what your question is. Probably gonna hang out for like 10 more minutes, you guys. So get in any last donations before we wrap up the night. Thank you, NC. Okay, I'm going to do NC while we wait for your Silly Rabbit. Haven't even read your question, and I want to go to the Goddess Oracle. I ran away from a guy I love when he came back out of fear. Was I right, or should I go back to fixing? I feel like the opportunity is gone. I will say that, NC. Like, I feel like he definitely realized that he was in that fear state. And I think it was a good decision. Like, I think I see what's happening. It's like, in the moment, you might not have known whether it was a good idea, but your body knew. And that's why you were like, no, and you ran away. Like, there was definitely that fear there, and you were like, get out. See, and then the question that your guides are putting in my head is like, why are you second guessing it now? And that's like the big thing, is like, where is that insecurity now? Like, why are you being drawn back to that? It's an illusion. But I pulled this one in reverse, unlike what I just did with somebody else. The goddess Maya, I'm just going to read this. The goddess Maya has come to give you some clarity now. How have you been in denial about your life lately? Have you been chasing after an outcome that eludes you? Do you want to believe in something or someone so badly, perhaps drawn by a potential you hope to see come to fruition, that you have lost your way and given your power over to them? Oh my gosh, this is so perfect. Your alignment task is to summon your courage and be willing to see things as they really are, rather than the way you want them to be. Be honest with yourself. The goddess Maya understands the seduction of the illusion of separation. After all, she created the illusion of the individual self. Once the illusion has faded, you're free to choose another path. This is a wonderful time to do a self-inventory on your life, how you love, what you believe, who you follow, why you choose to live the way you do. When the goddess Maya comes to break down illusions and delusions, it is a very auspicious sign. I love that. I feel like that just kind of reiterates what I said. But there's definitely like something going on there that needs to be further examined, because it's not him. It's the illusion that's drawing you back in and making you second guess yourself. But I do not think it was a bad thing. Like, I think you stopped it before it happened, and then he eventually saw that, and so I don't feel like that opportunity is even any longer there. I'll just pull one more card just in case. A new romantic cycle begins, NC. So this is like such beautiful guidance. I feel like this is like, as soon as you let go of this and forgive yourself on it, it's like, oh, okay, what am I manifesting? What do I want out of a relationship? Like, that's not what I wanted. And that's a great like sign. This was like that temptation, seduction coming in. And now I want something more balanced. I want something that's better than what that could have been. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, NC. Hey, Jordan. Let me grab it. I was waiting on their message, so I didn't get to that reading. Can I get a message from my work money guide? Oh, yeah. I have lots of money leaving my pockets and a decrease in salary in October. Oh, no. Do I need to get another job? I'm going to pull the goddess energy. And the reason I'm immediately hearing like receptivity, and I'm hearing like yin, which is like in opposition to yang, which is like do the work, like go crazy, like put in the effort and the time. Excuse me. But yin receptivity is all about just like stepping back, letting the universe sort of handle it, not necessarily putting in a lot of hard work. I feel like you might be provided for, you might be okay. Let me see. I pulled Mama Kocha, water. This is the Goddess Power Oracle deck, by the way. Let's see what she says in reverse. This is a newer deck, so I'm just trying to like get to know it. Overwhelm and empathy overload has opened up a tidal wave of emotion that feels like it is threatening to engulf you. Feelings are unruly now, and you may discover that it's difficult to control them as you project their shadowy fears onto the screen of your life. I feel like that's definitely like this catastrophizing of like, I'm not going to have any money. I'm going to be living on the street in a cardboard box. The goddess Mama Kocha says your task now is to detach, step back, and allow your feelings to pass through you like water. Without judgment or disapproval, let your fears be washed away with self-love and understanding. Say no to engaging and wait. Now's not the time to respond. Yes. Just see if there's anything else. I don't want to read the whole thing. So you might, a silly rabbit, you might have to, but right now I think the overwhelm of it all is kind of like clouding your judgment. You're probably like freaking out a little bit because you're saying all this money is leaving your pockets. I just want to tune into intuitively like what you could be doing. I'm hearing like to like tap into all of your resources. I don't know what exactly those are. Like, I don't know if you have other like accounts or family members, or I could be wrong. Like, obviously, silly rabbit, if it makes you feel better to like have something backed up and ready to go ahead and do it. But it feels more like you're living in the moment of the emotion, and it might not be as bad as you think it needs to be. What? Love dogs. Oh, I know. We tried to take our dog everywhere, and there was like nowhere for dogs. No grass, no. Even the beaches wouldn't allow dogs. It was crazy. There's only a few beaches in California that allowed dogs. We had to like go out of our way to get there. So bizarre to me. And we have a husky, and you guys have seen him. He's kind of small, but people were like, oh, is that a wolf? Like, no, it's not a wolf. It's a husky. Have you never seen a dog before? But I mean, people in California live in a lot smaller spaces, so they have a lot smaller dogs, but thanks, Erin. Good night. All right. All right. I think I'm going to call it good after Jordan. So Jordan will be our last donation for tonight. Any messages from my spirit guides or deity on my spiritual progress? Ooh, it's been a while. I'm totally getting clairalience, which is psychic smelling. And I'm smelling like poop, honestly. That was gross. Like, I'm smelling like baby poop. The baby part is not significant, but it's like I'm just smelling clairaliently poop because there's no poop in here. I'm in my shed outside. There's like, we don't do anything with our son in here. I'd prefer not to smell that again. Thank you. You can just tell me. So now I'm asking, okay, what the heck did that mean? Okay, I'll say what I was going to say before, but I was like withholding what I was going to say because I wanted to see what the cards were. I feel like, Jordan, like the question that's coming through from your guides to you is like, where do you think your spiritual progress is? Because I feel like you're just like, every day, I feel like it's almost like they're showing me like checking your analytics on YouTube. Like, I do that too much sometimes and I get down about things. It's like you're doing that with your spiritual progress. Like, you're benchmarking everything and you're being like analytical about it all, and like you're just being very like left brain. And there's an addiction to something, and there's something that you need to destroy. And I feel like it's just like how you come about your spiritual work. I feel like you're addicted to always needing to progress. And destroy. I think that's where that smell was coming from. Like, there's crap, there's literally crap in your, not literally, symbolically, figuratively, crap in your life that needs to be gotten rid of. Releasing what is potentially destructive. Maybe there's even an addiction to what the spiritual side of things can bring you. Like, you know, getting into those zone and doing the practices, and then you're like addicted to the power that you think it brings you, or the I'm better than everybody else, or I feel like you just sometimes stay too much in this kind of like spiritual side of yourself and don't, like, I feel like you don't really like engage with other people outside of this stuff. I don't feel like there's really that balance. I hope that resonates. And I feel like that's why they're like, I feel like you pay attention to it too much. You nitpick it too much. You're always like looking at it. Like, your phone is kind of like what it feels like. Honestly, Jordan, like, I kind of feel like your guides are a little bit frustrated with you, and they're not wanting me to like give you any more information. They really want you to like disconnect from the spiritual stuff for a bit and live your human life for a little bit. They're like, you're up here too much. You're trying to connect. You're ignoring the messages. You know, you're taking what works and what doesn't. And then you're addicted to like living in this zone and not like engaging with the people around you, or again, living the human part of our life that, you know, we're meant to live here. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but I say what I get, and I feel like they're being very like stern with you right now, and they're just like, just don't talk to us for a while. It's okay. Go live your life. That's what you're supposed to do. Awesome. Thank you, Jordan. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great night, Lori. Catch me next time. Again, I will not be live next Tuesday. I will be out of town, but the following Tuesday I will be live. You can stay connected with me on Facebook. We do have a group for practicing your psychic development. I also have an Instagram. And otherwise you can subscribe here. I will have videos still coming up this week and next week, even while I am gone. So Friday is going to be an interview of my husband, asking him what it's like to be with me. I'm very interested to see what you guys say about that. what you guys think of him. I've never actually like fully introduced my husband on my channel before, so he's been in like the background of some of my videos, but that's pretty much it. And then excuse me. And then next week's video will be all about how to ask better questions to get better psychic answers. And so I kind of go over the main problems that I see people having of like they're trying to ask psychic questions and like the answers are not clear, they're not coming through. Maybe they're wrong, or maybe they're just like too perfect, too accurate sometimes. And it's not even accurate as much as like it's exactly what you want to hear, and you're kind of like, I know that I'm not connecting right. So I kind of go over like all these problem areas, like why they happen and how to ask better questions. And I kind of go over like how to ask yes or no questions, how to ask questions about the future and like timing and all of that. I wanted to make this video for a while. It's pretty like fundamental to, excuse me, intuitive work. But that will be out next Friday. And I will be back again to join you the following Tuesday. But yeah, guys, also remember I have memberships. So the base level membership will get you, excuse me, a bunch of fun emojis and badges. And then every live night, I choose one of you guys at random to receive a free reading with like my little timer. The next membership tier up gets you into our member only live nights. And those are kind of like more intimate. We do a lot of exercises and we do individual readings as well. But because there's less people in those, it's just more fun and private, and more people get to get read in those. And then at that level, you also get monthly kind of readings through my community tab on my channel. And then my highest level is member only videos. So once a month, I have an extra video that comes out for members only. And I think we have 2 now. The third one will come out next week. It's going to be a meditation. And then the other thing that member level gets is every month I pick one person randomly out of that group to get a free 15-minute reading from me. So those are my membership levels. Think about them if you want to join. I'd love to have you. I'm not easy to impress. Thank you, Melinda. So in summary, right now you're overwhelmed, silly rabbit, with your emotions. Correct, silly rabbit. Yeah, well, and I would say the second job was more of my opinion. Like, if you feel like that's what you need in order to feel better, like, go for it. But intuitively, I don't feel like it's needed. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, guys, I think that is it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to get out a podcast for you guys. Yeah, I'll do it. And I think that's it. I'm sorry that I'm just kind of like all over the place tonight. I don't know what the deal is. Intuitively, I'm like connected, but like left brain, not there. All right, guys, I will see you in 2 weeks. I mean, you'll see me in some of my videos before that, but have a great rest of your September and get ready for some fun October videos. I'm super excited. So subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you then. Adios, people.